So the first feature we're going to see today is the database browser. It is where you're going to store your classes and objects. It's all the way here on the top, and as you can see, Parse already creates two classes for us for convenience. The user class, so you can create and manage users, and the role class, so you can group users with similar reading and write privileges. So instead of having your privileges set on a per user basis, you can have those settings applied to a role and then adding users to that role, and all the users inside a role will be affected by those permissions. This avoids that you have to set a per user basis permission and forget at some point to add or remove a property from a user. So to create a new class graphically, you click this create a class button here. We have a few templates that you can choose from, most used classes by other clients. So we're going to create a custom one, and I'm going to call this class employee. When I hit create a class, my employee class shows up here with a few properties already set. So object ID is a string that is unique per object inside a database, so it can be used kind of as a primary key in a regular database. Updated at and created at are timestamps. Those are automatically created and updated by Parse, so we can always know when an object was first created and when it was last updated. And ACL stands for Access Control List, and it is the ability for you to read or write a specific object inside the database. So the granularity of permissions in our databases go as deep as the object level. And up here in this little shield, we have what we call CLP or class level permissions. A class level permission tells if a user has access to write, read, or change a specific class. Sometimes you might have a CLP conflicting with a ACL. So for instance, let's say I tell you do have access to some records, but you do not have access to that class that contains those records. In this case, if a ACL and CLP conflicts, the CLP has a higher priority, so it will always win. So if I tell that you don't have an access to a class, but you do have access to records, in the end, you will not be able to see anything. So every time you have some kind of issues seeing data or writing data, please check if your ACLs and CLPs are not conflicting.